Don't mind me. I'm just killing time, waiting for Crash Bandicoot 4 to download on my PlayStation. So should be another 9 or 10 minutes. You know what? While I'm here, here's your wrestling news. WWE is taking control of wrestlers' Twitch accounts. NXT TakeOver 31 plans have been revealed, and a bizarre storyline that WWE pitched to Miro. Can't wait to tell you about this. We'll do it in a bit. So over the last couple of weeks, there's been conversations about WWE taking control of their superstars' third-party social media deals. Things like Twitch and Cameo and sponsorship deals with TikTok and MySpace, bulletins, Friends Reunited posts, all of them basically. That took another step overnight as it was announced that in the next 4 weeks, WWE will take control of their talents' Twitch accounts. So guys like AJ Styles and Paige, among many others who do stuff on that platform, will hand over control of their platform to WWE. Now, they will still be doing stuff on Twitch, but it will be run through WWE and they will get a percentage of the revenue from Twitch as part of their downside guarantee. So it basically means that all of those dealings will go through WWE right now. As you can imagine, this hasn't been met with the greatest of love online or anywhere. It's been brought once again up by Andrew Yang, who is the former US presidential candidate. He's a big wrestling fan. He has a great interview he did with Chris Van Vliet, which I highly recommend you check out, following the first announcement about WWE owning the rights and names and likenesses and real names of their talents. He came out and spoke about that. He has since spoken about WWE taking over the Twitch platforms of their wrestlers, and Yang said the following: "This would be infuriating to me if I had spent time building up my social media channels only to have WWE take them over for their independent contractors. People are angry, and rightfully so." Yang has also said that should Joe Biden become the president of America, he will take it up with Biden to investigate the independent contractor situation with WWE stars. It is a grey area, and one that we've talked about for a long time, one that's come up in conversation in the mainstream multiple times as well. Like, where do you draw the line between independent contractors and contracted talent? Like, surely if you're independent, you can do other things. I get not working. I get that as independent contractor, you shouldn't go and do AEW as well. I get that. But surely, like, running your own Twitch account and such like that, surely that is, it seems ridiculous to take over it. But being as it is, kind of saw this one coming. We already know that the Cameo accounts are closing down. A few wrestlers tweeting out last night, like, this is your last chance if you want a cameo from me. And so that's wrapped up today as well. And it's a shame. It's a shame that it's come to this, that WWE are taking ownership of that. On the plus side, Leo Rush has launched an OnlyFans. So we don't know what he's going to do on there yet, because it's not all Bob's on OnlyFans. There's lots of other stuff on there as well. A lot of people use it as a way of connecting with only their fans. Leo Rush will be offering some services on there as well. Don't know what that is yet, but Leo Rush is on OnlyFans. This felt like the only proper place to chuck this in. Oh, and also want to throw this in as well. So off the back of this announcement about WWE taking control of their wrestlers' Twitch accounts, Stephanie McMahon came second in the Forbes influencer list, right? So she was named number 2, the most influential marketing officer behind Phil Schiller from Apple. This is what they said about Stephanie McMahon in Forbes magazine. "McMahon is an outspoken and highly visible executive at WWE, a company in an industry often mired in controversy. The daughter of WWE CEO Vince McMahon, she is a former WWE superstar herself, and she's a big proponent of WWE superstars growing their own brands via social media." Funny that, innit? That's good timing. Moving swiftly on to this weekend, NXT TakeOver 31 is coming. We weren't sure about what it was going to look like. Normally by now we have some kind of idea of an overarching theme for a takeover, and Triple H has been quite mysterious about this. In the media call, he said that we can expect a new look, and he also told us to expect something game-changing. We can reveal this morning via Post Wrestling that NXT TakeOver 31 will be emanating from the Performance Center. And we don't know in terms of how this is going to be laid out or prepared, but I can imagine they're going to be doing something rather special with the Performance Center for TakeOver 31. I wouldn't be surprised if TakeOver 31 looks better than WrestleMania did this year. But that's not all. This is now going to be the new base of operations for NXT going forward. They're going to be broadcasting everything from Performance Center. They're moving out of Full Sail. We don't know why yet. I would put it down to, this is just a hack theory. A hack theory. It's like a game theory, but worse. My theory would be that they moved out of the Performance Center for Raw and SmackDown when the ratings were falling, and moving it to the Thunderdome saw a little perk up in the ratings. So chances are it's a way of giving the NXT ratings a bit of a nudge, moving it that way by changing the layout. Just the intrigue of a new home for NXT might inspire some new eyes. That might be the reasoning. That's a hack theory though. Fightful Select also talked about other future plans for NXT, including a second NXT show. They said, quote, "There could be more NXT content on the way. Fightful has learned that a once pitched NXT product was at least in the planning stages in September before the most recent outbreak. Once pitched as NXT Underground. Well before Raw Underground happened, but it wasn't to be anything like the Raw Underground we see today, outside of having peers watching the show. The idea was floated around last year, but not everyone was on board with it, which was tabled. There was a pilot for the event shot at the Performance Center in the summer of last year, which would have been the setting of the event. We're told it had been a long time project by Ryan Katz, who works there. The latest we've heard is that some unused NXT talent and new Evolve signings were tentatively planned for the show. Again, we are unsure of how the recent COVID outbreaks have affected this. So I must admit, as I was reading it initially, seeing NXT Underground, I went, no, what? No, I don't want Shane McMahon to be shouting at me whilst Bronson Reed decks Timothy Thatcher. Or do I? Maybe I do. But so what they're essentially doing here with a second NXT show, it kind of sounds like a developmental show for NXT. The NXT of NXT. Like the NXT, maybe? And I guess it's something you can do with that additional talent that you've got from Evolve to kind of build an underground brand for NXT for people to move up to. Yeah, it's a brand within a brand. It's a wheel within a wheel. Just to touch on the NXT and AEW ratings score, a good week for both brands. AEW going up to 866. Up from 835. NXT up a nice bit as well. That's a nice number, 732 from 696 last week. So a lift for both brands. NXT closing the gap a little bit, but AEW still continuing to win outright. The important number though is that 18 to 49 demo. And again, we've seen boosts. We've seen Dynamite go from 0.32 to 0.33, and NXT go from 0.18 to 0.19. It's a little boost, but it shows more eyes watching wrestling, and that can never be a bad thing. Bobby Lashley, but not Bobby Lashley. You know that thing that Miro did Bobby Lashley in WWE? The storyline with Bobby Lashley in WWE? Bobby Lashley? I've lost myself now. Miro was on AEW Unrestricted, and he was sharing a bizarre storyline that was pitched to him during his final days in WWE. So remember the Miro, Lashley, Lana love storyline? The YouTube hits loved it, but we weren't so bothered. What a way of using a guy like Rusev, and Lashley to an extent as well, in a storyline like that. Is that not like the equivalent of buying a Rolls Royce just to pop to the shops and back? It kind of feels like it is. But in the interview on AEW Unrestricted, he said that it was pitched to him that, as well as incorporated within this storyline about Rusev being an addict to the snuggling, that it would also come to pass that he suffered erectile dysfunction. This is something they wanted to drop into the storyline on Monday Night Raw, that Rusev was suffering erectile dysfunction. Rusev / Miro went to Vince McMahon and said, my character will not recover if you give my character erectile dysfunction. What a world wrestling is. He said, my character simply won't recover, so I urge you to not. And it was dropped. But the fact that it was... Do you know what? I would say the fact that it was mooted was shocking, but it's not. Like, WWE have done pretty much far worse with less, really. They have, haven't they? This is kind of their thing. So I'm not surprised. I'm glad he's not doing that anymore, though. I'm very glad. Oh, jeez. Anyway, on a positive note, hey, we're catching up today, you and I, aren't we? This afternoon, Love You Bye Friday is back at twitch.tv/Cultaholic. You can find me on there from 2 o'clock until Adam Pacitti shuts it down, a la Vince McMahon. He won't. He best not. I'll change the passwords. It's a live call-in show where you can get in touch via Skype, live on the show. We chat about anything and everything. If you're a Patreon, we also have a topic that we do every week, and you'll help choose the topic for the week as well. It's just a lovely way to spend an hour from Isolation Station 24601 direct to your living room. Come join me for a chat live at twitch.tv/Cultaholic. What could possibly go wrong? Stay safe. Love you, bye.